good, Gun family? Urban Gun Reviews, and today on the channel, on this episode of Friends with Guns, we have She Fires. So welcome her to the channel. If y'all not subscribed to her channel, following her on her Instagram, make sure y'all do that. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm here, so
I
I
know,
can't
right?
complain. Yeah.
Thanks for having me on the channel. Thank you for having me here.
anytime. I appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah.
So the first question I ask everybody is, where are you from?
I am originally from Philadelphia. I was born in Philly, and then I moved to the DMV, the Virginia part,
Okay.
and have most of my upbringing there. And then about 15 years ago, I moved to Florida. So that's where I am now, and it's like 80 some degrees. So whew,
Yeah, you're
it's a
lucky.
warm
We
day.
struggling up here, but it's been a nice couple of days.
Has it?
Yeah, the last like 2 days it's been like in the 50s and 60s, so
Ooh.
I can't complain about
I know when I when I go walk into the like my bathroom and this tile on the floor, it gives me like PTSD because I remember how cold it is up north. Like,
that.
gives me flashbacks. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how did you come up with your YouTube name?
So yeah, I started the YouTube. I actually had the Instagram first, which is the
Okay.
same name, She Fires, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to start a YouTube, but it's like, you know what, I've got something to share. I'm a newbie in the firearms, learning about all those things, and I wanted to kind of document my journey
Hmm.
as a newcomer. And so I said, I do love firearms. Um, and I hadn't really added the other element because the other part of like self defense, I mainly focus on self defense.
Okay.
Well, self defense and then with a firearm, but I take up martial arts also.
Okay.
And so it's kind of blend of the two. But she fires flames or fists.
Okay. Okay. What kind of martial arts are
Elbows,
you into?
it's called Toshindo martial
Okay,
arts.
I've heard of it.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's more defensive. So it's not a lot of sounds and movements and being the aggressor. It's
Hmm.
more, waiting for that person to attempt to attack you rather,
Okay.
and use their energy, their
Against them.
body against them.
Okay. Yeah,
I love it.
that's cool. That's cool.
And you
Uh,
don't have to be really tall or big or strong.
hmm.
I'm not very tall, but I think I can kick some booty.
Yeah, that's dope. Uh, how long you been into firearms?
I started about a year and a half ago. I did shoot for fun. I think that's how a lot of people start too. Like they
Hmm.
shoot, they made like, I'll borrow my, we'll go to the range with a friend. It's like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
So that's what I started doing. And then I said I wanted to take it seriously. So I got my concealed carry permit um, in 2020. And I said, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously because maybe, eventually in my future, maybe I want to become an instructor. There's not a lot of people that look like me. There's
Yeah,
not a lot of
definitely.
us in the community. So I said, I'm gonna take baby steps, but that could be something I could do. But at least for now, I can be a positive
Hmm.
example for people who might be a little bit intimidated to kind of learn about firearms and know what to get. So that's kind of what I document on my channel. Like, what kind of weapon do you get? What other things and accessories? Like, what else do I need?
Yeah.
All those newbie questions I'm learning. And so I'm
Hmm.
sharing that on the channel.
Yeah, and that's what's dope about your channels because a lot of people come to YouTube for that information, because
Mhm.
maybe not a lot of people show that side of it. They just show the shooting and all the tactical stuff, and you give it a different aspect on it. So it's real
Yeah, I
dope.
really, really enjoy it. Everyone's been extremely supportive, and I did not realize how large the community was until I got into it. And
Hmm.
very supportive, and always, if you have questions, reach out. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Anything.
Yeah,
Very welcoming.
yeah, definitely. So,
Mhm.
can you run me through the process of getting your CCW in Florida?
Um, oh, my memory's not what it used to be, but it was really fast. Okay, so I went in. It took maybe like 3 weeks for me to get it. I went to my local DMV,
Hmm.
um, and I didn't even have to make an appointment. I just had to arrive there kind of early
Hmm.
before the crowd. So it was like we didn't have to make an appointment. And mind you, this was during the 19, right? During all the
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of peak. It was around July ish. Um, and so, yeah, I walked in and I had to do the fingerprinting and all those things. And
Mm-hmm.
about 3 weeks later, it showed up. And I really wanted to have it. Like here, I could go and buy a weapon without having a permit.
Okay.
Um, but I wanted to be official. I didn't want any question if I ever got stopped or if I ever got into a situation. I didn't want anyone to look at me, an authority to look at me that I got it, my weapon under, unusual circumstances.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
like I'm a law abiding citizen. It just
Right.
made me feel more secure.
I got you. I got you. So, is
hmm
there like a process, like a time waiting period from the time that you go to get a firearm before you can get it, or you can get it the same day?
Um, you know, because I didn't have to follow that. Um, Let me think. So I've gone to a gun show many times here in Tampa. There's a Florida State
Mm-hmm.
Fairgrounds gun show. They do like 8 times a year.
Okay.
It feels like it anyway. And there are people there that buy a weapon who do not have it concealed, but they have to go through a background check.
Okay.
So they can pick up the weapon. Can they? Same day, so long as a background check comes back. Actually, is
Okay.
that right? Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Actually, I didn't follow that rule. I didn't have to do that. There is a waiting period, but I don't know how long it is. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem.
I might have to investigate that. That will be a great video to do.
There you
I
go.
can talk about what I did, which is really serious. I would encourage, if you really want to be serious about it, to definitely get your permit if it does allow, even if the state doesn't allow you to. It's just an added protection, and you
Yeah.
just feel,
Definitely.
you know, you
Yep.
feel like you're on the right side of the law.
Yeah.
Although it's okay, but whatever. Um, yeah, that's a good idea. Actually, thank you for that.
No problem. Yeah, I've actually been down. You're in Tampa, or yeah, I've
Yes,
been
yes,
down in
yes.
Tampa. I was in Clearwater a few years ago. It's pretty nice
Okay.
down there.
It's very nice. There's a lot of beaches, a lot of things to do. But when you live here, you don't really go as much as you would think. Like I
Yeah.
haven't been to the beach in 2 years. I guess it's with every place wherever you live, you don't go to the touristy places because
Hmm.
you live here.
Yeah, that's what I was telling my wife because we was thinking about moving to North Carolina, and
hmm
she was like, "Yeah, I'll go to the beach every day," and I'm like, "Yeah, that'll probably wear out pretty soon." I was like, "You
It
might go
really
for a
does.
while, but you won't go all the time."
It's a good idea. It's good intentions, but it just kind of, you
Yeah.
just fall back into place.
Yep. So, do you have any firearms training?
So, firearms training, no.
Okay.
However, I am trying to get rifle training because
Hmm.
I've been shooting, I've got two pistols right now.
Yeah.
My everyday carry, which is a P365, 6 hour
There you
P365.
go. Love it.
Um,
That's my
I
EDC.
know it's my baby.
Yeah.
It's the first one I got too, so I'm super loyal to it.
Mhm.
You're always loyal to this one. It's like um, and then I have a Glock 19, Gen 5 for home defense, just to have. I wanted something a little bit more powerful, so I
Yeah.
wanted that for home. And then I have a rifle, an AR-15. I got last year. It's a little guy. It's a 7.5 barrel. It's small. I'm short, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people say even though it doesn't matter, you can still get a longer barrel. So I may look at that in the future.
Mhm.
The addiction is strong. The
Definitely.
addiction.
Definitely. I feel it all the time. Every day.
And I just got a shotgun too. So
Okay.
like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
So I don't have formal training just yet, but that is something that I want to do
Mhm.
100%. And even, although I've been shooting with my pistol, I still want to go through a proper pistol training and rifle training.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
I
just
always look
haven't
at
yet.
it like there's never too much training you can do,
Nope.
So even if it's like the same training but just different people doing the training, you could
Yeah.
pick up something different. So it's all good.
I agree. I agree 100%. And you asked me that, and I feel a little bit ashamed that I haven't done it yet, but I do plan to. It's on my board over there.
So, was there any person or thing that got you interested into firearms?
As a kid, it was frowned upon. No one talked about it. And then when you did talk about it, it's like, you don't need that. What do you need that for? Just don't be where you're not supposed to be. Or, don't hang around unsavory people. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah, my
how do I
grandmother's still
know?
that way right now. She's still that way. Every time I
How
post
do
a
I know
gun.
that they're unsavory? Mm. But I had to push through that. And, I would encourage people too, especially when you have parents or, loved ones who may not be for it. You really have to do what's best for you to feel secure and protected, because you're not with someone all the time. And even if you are, you're still vulnerable.
Yeah,
Even when you're in your home, you're still vulnerable. And I listened respectfully, but I got what I wanted.
yeah. I don't know if you ever heard a tactical Carl, but he always
Mm,
says, be your own first responder, because you can't wait on the emergency response team to come and help you, or a neighbor. Like you see it all the time in these videos. You see a woman
right.
get attacked in a grocery store and men are just standing around. Like you can't expect anybody to help you. You have to be, your own first responder. So I always think that's like a
It's
dope
so
saying.
true. Yeah. And I am actually embarrassed that, but I mentioned I'm from Philadelphia, and that one video where that lady got assaulted on the train, and it
Mm-hmm.
was in Philadelphia,
Yep.
and everyone stood around.
Yep.
You would think you're in public, it's daytime, that if something did happen, someone would come to your defense if you couldn't. But like you said, what Tactical Carl said, like you have to be it.
Yeah.
You have to save your day.
Yep, can't depend on anybody else. And
Yeah.
even if you think about it in the terms of if I'm at home and somebody breaks into my house and I have nothing to defend myself, you're gonna have to call the police. It could take them anytime from what 5 to however long to get to you. Do you
Right.
really have that time, to be in your house and expect, whatever to happen not to happen? So,
Right.
it,
Right.
it just makes sense to me. And that's
Yeah.
like a big thing that I was on my family. Like when I first got in, well, I was trying to always bring my wife into firearms, and
Hmm.
she wasn't against it, but she just wasn't all in. And now she's
Sure.
all in with it. So I always,
Good.
was telling her like when I'm gone or I'm not here, you have to be able to protect the house. And same with my sons. I'm like, when I'm not here, you have to be able to protect the house, because
Right.
if I have all the training and I have all the guns and all of this stuff, and I can give you the tool, but if you don't know how to use it, then it's useless. So
That's so,
you know,
so true. I actually talked about that before. Like, don't be a damsel in distress. Like,
hmm
you can have a dog, you can have a security system, you can have a man or, whomever, but it should be you
yeah,
first and foremost. And, all those things are great in addition to what you also can offer. And why wouldn't you
absolutely,
want to have a partner that also knows how to defend themselves? I mean, you just become a dependent at that point
yeah,
if you're waiting for, your guy to save you and you're able body.
yep,
Like,
absolutely.
let's help each other. Let's have each other's backs.
hmm Yeah,
So,
yeah. What made you want to be a content creator?
you know, I've I owned a business, and I did have a YouTube channel during that time. And I was talking about like small business tips and things like that. So social media really wasn't foreign to me, and the YouTube space wasn't foreign to me. But finding what I really was passionate about is what I have found with this channel.
hmm
And because everyone's been so encouraging, it motivates me to share more and do more. Of course, there's criticism. There's everyone. This
Always,
I will tell you,
always.
as often as wonderful as it is when people are welcoming, the opinions are very strong.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you can't say one little thing wrong, and they be on you. So you know,
I know.
everybody
I
goes
love
through
it
it.
because Peppies are passionate about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, that's very funny. Yeah, I've been working to be really tactful in my responses to certain comments.
Yeah,
But overall, everyone's been really nice.
yeah, that's good. Is what's your thoughts on carrying around in the chamber at all times?
Yes, if you're gonna have it on your body, you should. What's the point? It's like every second counts, right? So racking it back to put around in the chamber, how many seconds is that? Even if it's half a second, whoever's trying to harm you, yes.
Yeah.
Although my P365 does have a safety on it, it can easily go off when necessary. So I just wanted that extra security, the extra. When I first got it, I said I want to have a safety on it, just so I feel extra secure because I can always have it off.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, definitely one in the chamber.
All right. So was your P365, was that the first gun you ever purchased?
Yes. So I went in to because I was shooting with an MMP Shield before. My friend had it, and that's what I used to play with when we would go to the range. So when I went in to buy it after I got my concealed carry, I was super excited. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna get the MMP Shield because I've been shooting that. I always talk about that too. Don't go buy something that you haven't shot before. You don't know how it's gonna do for you,
Yeah.
especially for like us as new, gun owners. And some weapons are really expensive.
Yeah.
So like, don't spend that money. You don't even know if you like that or if it's gonna be good for you. It's gonna be too much
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Trying to buy something that somebody else recommends. They might love it, you might hate it. So definitely know
Yeah,
before you
like
buy
every
it.
hand's different, and like I know, like my wrists are starting to get like the old. I'm not as young as I used to be, so like certain ones I know wouldn't be good for me, and
Mm-hmm.
so I need to make sure and practice it. And the trigger, all of those things, the recoil, you really want to test it out. So when I went in there, I was like, okay, I want MMP Shield. They said we don't have it. It's like what the okay. Well, what do you have? I was like, I'm not leaving without something because you're all excited, like you
Yeah.
want to get something. So they said we have the P365 6 hours. Like okay, and I put it on. I touched it. Said okay, I could carry this. And I had tried it before. Like I shot it at the
Okay.
range because you can rent out. Like that's what I love about the local ranges here and the indoor ranges.
Oh,
They have a plethora of guns that you can try out before you buy.
yeah.
Um, like I held a staccato the other day, and people are like,
Ooh.
"Go on!" Everyone's like, "Did you shoot it?" It's like, no, I just touched it because like I didn't know that they had it for rent, but they did.
Yeah.
So I probably will go back and shoot it just because everyone says this is a great gun for $2,000+. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely try before you buy. Like, ooh,
Yeah. I don't know too many
that's
people just
crazy
gonna
about
buy
that.
that one, but the name though, the name is carrying a lot of weight. A lot of people say
Mm-hmm.
good things. I never heard anything bad about it. So
Nope, I haven't either. Yeah, it's American made or all American parts, all of that stuff. So I see why that also adds some um, loyalty to it. So
mm,
yeah. Anyway, what are you asking me? Yeah, with the P365, and so after I felt comfortable with it, I was like, that's going to be the next best. I was disappointed, but after time went on and I got comfortable shooting it, I would take it to the range often because it was mine at that point, like it
mm-hmm.
wasn't when I borrowed or whatever. It's my go-to now.
Okay. You got the 15 round mag for it?
Yes.
Yeah. That's how I
Yeah.
came out. I got the XL, but I have like the 15
Okay.
round mags for it too. I
Mm-hmm.
got both of them actually.
Because the XL is a little bit, it's a
A little
longer.
bit longer in the slide
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
the frame. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. So it's in my
It's been
rotation.
great. Yes. I am looking for a second smaller. I am looking for a second EDC just because I don't want to become super dependent on the one that I have
Yeah.
um, and have, some flexibility. But I haven't found the one yet. I don't know what I want yet.
Okay.
I'm not
A
sure.
lot of options out there. So
I know. I was
a lot of
thinking what I
options.
was touching the other day. Yeah. There was a Walters one that was really nice, a PPS
Okay.
that was small. I don't know if you know that one. I looked at that at the range. So we'll see. I'll have to do an unveiling,
Okay.
a reveal.
Wait for that one. Um. Yeah. What the hell was my next question? Yeah. If you stop YouTube today, what would you want to be remembered for?
That always keeps me in check because I do have children. And so whatever I put online, I never want to be embarrassed by. And I want everything that I do to kind of be positive and appropriate for me. Like, so I stay in my lane. Um, just that I love learning and trying new things. That's what I want to be remembered for. Like, just don't become
Yeah.
complacent. Even in life, like you become complacent, your life will just it's not vibrant anymore because you're just
Mhm.
doing the same thing over and over again. So that's what I want to show too. Like Go out and try things and do things.
Mm-hmm.
What is preventing you from doing that? Is it fear? You know, is it money? Or identifying really what that is? And oftentimes it is fear. Like people
Yeah.
will make fun of me. People will look at me. Like at the end of the day, none of that matters.
Yep.
What brings you joy?
Sure. Sure. Would you consider yourself a movie person? And if so, what's the best gun movie that you feel like you've ever seen?
Best gun movie? Okay, so I'm a World War Z zombie fan. I love zombie movies.
Zombies.
There was a lot of shooting in that, so that one. But if I had to pick one, I do love like Mr. and Mrs. Smith because I
Okay, that's a
liked
good
the
movie. Yeah.
idea
Yep.
of the partnership. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I love. That they, although they, the beginning was what it was, but that they knew how to defend themselves and they were strong and tough in their own right, and then they got together and even better. So I like that. I
Yeah.
like that idea.
That's dope.
I
Any
know
gun?
there's other gun movies out there that are cooler, but I like
Oh no, that's good. That's
that.
good. Any gun that you would get, but you feel like the price is too high at the moment.
The staccato, no, I'm kidding. I haven't shot that yet, so I don't know if I like it, but I always say don't shoot it unless you know, don't buy it unless you know. I did see the Canic at the gun range, the gun show. It was called the Whiteout. It was whiteout, that color.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
off-white, snowy color. It
Mhm.
looked really pretty. Um, I like the sleek and slender um, look, like the long, sleek and slender look, and
Mhm.
that's what I see in the staccato, and that's what I see in the Canic. So yeah, I probably would lean on something like that. But I'm still new, so I don't know. But I'm trying to pay attention.
Mhm.
That's why I love going to gun shows because you get to see all kinds of things and touch it and feel it,
Yeah.
and then go back and say I like that, but what are the reviews? You can kind of start
Uh huh.
exploring from there.
How often would you say that you clean your carry gun?
Whew. Wait, clean or carry?
Clean your carry gun. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I would say not often. You know why? Because I get nervous about taking it apart. I just do. Like I'm gonna put one part in backwards. I don't know if that's possible or not. Okay, I just get paranoid that it could happen. So I get assistance.
Okay.
So yes, I
Yeah.
get assistance.
The worst thing with the Sig is probably the recoil spring, because you got to turn it a certain way, and if it's not turned a certain way, then your slide will act real funny. But you got the Glock 19 too. The Glock 19 is simple. Like it's
I haven't done that yet at all. Not
yeah,
yet.
the parts are real easy, and you
Hmm.
can put it in the recoil spring gun, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, not as often as I need to. Yes, but yeah, I got to get comfortable with it. And I
Yeah,
see some folks on there, they just whip it out. They do whip it out with their eyes closed. I'm like, oh gosh.
yeah. That's
I
what my youngest. My youngest is really into guns, and we sit there at the dinner table and have little
what
competitions where we time ourselves, taking apart and putting them back together. So
I love
really
it.
into it.
I want to do that.
Yeah,
I want to do that.
I love it. It's super fun. Super fun. I didn't think I like it. Now I feel like Major Payne when he was hanging upside down and taking his gun apart, and I was
You
like,
did not say
that's all I'm
Major
thinking
Payne.
of.
That's funny. Yes, that's on my list. I'm ashamed to say.
No shame, nothing to be ashamed. You gotta do it when you feel comfortable, So no need to rush it. It ain't going
True.
anywhere. So just know that
Right,
there's
right,
there's
right.
enough videos out there and stuff that guide you through. There's a video damn near on every gun probably. So
Right,
somebody's still stripping it.
for sure.
Yeah, that's how I
Yeah,
am with
yeah.
1911s. Like I love 1911s, but I hate field stripping them and taking them apart because they're like just weird, and I
A
hate
lot of
doing that.
parts.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
the barrel comes out like a weird way. You gotta like unscrew the front part of this nut. You gotta take off.
Hmm.
It's just weird, and I hate doing it.
Yeah.
So I've only done it like 3 times, but I hate doing it. That's how I was with my High Point too. Like I have a High Point C9, and it just
Hmm.
comes apart a weird way, and you got to put it together a weird way. And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit down here and do it. And I just sat down there for like 4 hours and just took it apart
Wow.
and tried to put it back together and failed a couple times. Watched the video, got it, and now I can just take it apart with no problem. So it's
That's
all in
awesome,
practice.
though. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And too, I mean, that's something to take into the consideration also, as part of being a gun owner, knowing how to take it apart and put it
Yeah.
back together. So, you know, something that might be a little bit easier. Those things I don't think people talk about either. Like
Hmm.
part of it is maintenance and
Yeah.
making sure that you can properly care for it so it extends it and works when you need it to.
Yep. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Best gun you felt like you've ever shot?
Um, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with what I've been shooting because I try to practice as much as I can with my 6 hour.
Hmm.
So it'll probably be that. I did shoot the shotgun before a couple times, and that was fun. But for precision, I feel I'm getting pretty comfortable with my P365 because it's always with me. I want to
Hmm.
be as high percentage comfortable if I ever needed it in any situation.
Yeah.
So I'd say
Okay.
that. Hmm.
Okay. Indoor, outdoor ranges. Which one you prefer?
Sadly, I mentioned I live in Florida. I've not been to an outdoor range yet.
Oh
Isn't that weird? I was talking to
yeah.
someone. It is weird.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone who they mostly cold climate.
Hmm.
I'm sure it's cool there where you are, and they have mostly outdoor ranges, and I couldn't believe that. Where here it's kind of the opposite. We have a ton of indoor ranges
Yeah. That's wild.
and very few like they're scattered outdoor.
Hmm.
I don't know, but it's on my list.
Okay.
Actually, I tried to. The instructor that I did schedule it with had to cancel, so that was like a month ago. So I'm looking to have that rescheduled.
Okay.
I want to do that because I want to do more moves and getting
Yeah.
on the ground, like those types of things. Do
Okay.
you do that?
Yeah, not as often as I should, but like even the indoor range that I go to, they don't allow you to draw it from your holster or anything. So,
Yes.
that's more of an outdoor range thing for me. But
Hmm.
yeah, I want
Exactly.
to get into the full tactical thing. Like going out, like you said, rolling in the dirt and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. Because I mean,
Because
you
I
got to
watch
learn how to
tactical
do
cars
it.
all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to do. I can't be wearing those outfits, but I want to do like what he's doing. I want to train like that.
Yeah, he's super dope. Yeah.
No, he's awesome.
Yeah. Best handgun caliber in your opinion?
I think for general purpose, general people use, the 9 millimeter.
Hmm. Nice. I'm a big 9 millimeter fan myself.
Yeah. I mean, it's the most basic, but it's the most, reliable. And I think almost anyone, more of the majority can operate, with that. So I would say that your
Yeah.
grandmother can shoot with this. So,
Yeah. And I
that's
always
why
think of like end of the world situations, like the world goes to shit. I always feel like if you, well, most people have 9 millimeters. A lot of people have 9 millimeters. So if you run out of ammo and you happen to hit a spot where they got somebody's house or something and there's nobody
that's
there,
right.
you probably run across 9 millimeter before you run across a lot of other ammo. So
Or shotgun slugs too. You always
yeah,
see those in like in movies.
yep,
Um, that's a little bit harder. Yeah. But you never know, it might be a zombie apocalypse. And so, load up on your 9 millimeter people.
yeah, gotta be ready. Yeah. Best rifle caliber.
um, I mean, I have my AR-15. I've been using 223 with that. And probably only because I'm looking around because I'm looking for it. Probably because it was easier to get and
Mhm.
affordable. So that
Okay. you,
that.
you shot an AK before?
If I did, I don't remember. And because I didn't know any better.
Hmm.
I did shoot a big long rifle, but I didn't know what it was. I was out on like a farm and they had like just a plethora of weapons,
Yeah.
rifles, and they just said, "Hey, shoot this." So I just shot it, not knowing what it was. But that was when I was just shooting for fun. Now I want to know. Like I'm curious about all
Yeah.
things about it.
Yeah.
So I don't remember. I think I did because I did go back like this a little bit. So I say
It could
yes.
have been other things, but I give you that one.
I'm not sure though.
Yeah, dry firing is a good thing or bad thing?
Very good. Yes. Actually, I bought a dry fire kit for Christmas. But like you said, draw from the holster, but then also when you are like racking it back and how much pressure, right, you have on the trigger before it
Mhm.
releases, like that, just that motion right there,
Yeah.
practicing with that. Um, and then being in a seated position,
Yep.
like when you're at like a restaurant, like all those types of scenarios. I wish I did that more, but I know that that's important to do. Like,
Hmm.
how if you're lounging someplace or if you're at a restaurant, like those are situations. How do you
Yeah.
get into position? Or
That's
if
what
you're sitting
that's
seated.
that's like things that I talk about with my wife with all the time. Like we go out to eat or something. I'm like, I want to sit in this position so I can see,
Yes,
certain things in the restaurant, and you can sit here
absolutely.
because she carrying just like I'm carrying. So I'm like, I think I'll see it more because I like watch everything more than she
Yes.
does. So I'm like, I want to see this, so I need to sit here and see the door so I can see
Hmm.
who's coming in and stuff like that, and things like that. So and then I always think about when I'm sitting down being able to get to my firearm, because
That's right.
if you're in the wrong position or you got to do something that you're not used to
You're
doing,
like leaned
it'd be hard to
over.
get. Yeah. So all
Yeah.
those things are things you got to consider that people don't really think about a lot. So
They really don't. Like, I wish there was more on like situational awareness and things like that. Watching for exits, knowing that there should be a different exit. If you can't go, if there's a barricade on that door, can you get out another door? And do you know where it
yeah,
is? Just like small little things like that. And watching people, like body language, without like staring at people,
yeah,
but
yep,
knowing how people are. You watch. Don't just
yep,
I'm learning. I'm not there, but learning to keep my face out of my phone. Even
hmm,
when I'm seated. It's not just like walking to my car, which I don't
yeah,
do.
yep,
Even when I'm seated, like watch, keep constantly look up.
yep.
Hmm.
What's your thoughts on having a carry rotation?
What do you mean, like between like what I was mentioning before? I've got my everyday carry,
Yeah,
and getting a second one.
yep,
I think that's important.
okay,
I don't feel like you want to become super dependent on one because, like you said, if something happened
hmm,
and you had to shoot with a different weapon, and it would be really awkward for you.
yeah,
If you're practicing different weapons, it wouldn't be as awkward. That's just my opinion. I don't never want to be super dependent on any one weapon.
got you. Yeah, I carry two. So I got my SIG P365 XL, and then I got
Mhm.
a CZ P10C. So I rotate those ones
Okay.
depending on how I'm feeling for the day. I might go switch.
Yeah, people say that.
Yeah.
That's actually more common than I thought.
Hmm.
And some have more. Like
Yeah. I mean,
some have.
depending on the clothes you wear, you might say, well, I print a little bit more with this, so I'm gonna
Mhm.
use this one or whatever. You might
That's
have
right.
gym shorts on, and it might tug on your gym shorts a little more carrying a bigger gun. So it's just certain
Hmm.
things you got to consider.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on open carry?
I never want to infringe on anyone's right to do whatever they want to do. However, I don't think it's smart to, I won't say they flash, but just to have it exposed. There's no need for it. You know, I never want to tell people what to do, but
Hmm.
it's just not, you want to be more stealth mode. And I think that's even more adamant about it because I do martial arts,
uh,
and you never want to be like the loudest and biggest, like, oh, I'm going to take this person because I know that they're doing some karate stances and stuff. I
yeah.
know that they can fight. Like, you want to be like, you know undercover. You want to be
Hmm.
like a ninja. And I think that's just the case with the weapon too.
That's how I feel. Like I mean, if that's what you choose to do, then that's fine. That's your right.
That's
But
right. That's
me
right.
personally, I don't like it. I don't do it. So.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Any firearm that you would 100% recommend?
No, I never like to recommend. Depends on many things. If I'm like, for instance, my mom, she got her concealed carry, and she's looking at a weapon. She asked me, "It's like, you got to go. Here are a couple though that you can
Yeah.
look at, and like what I carry." She's like, "Well, what do you carry?" So I told her, I was like, "But
Hmm.
make sure that you're comfortable with it because you may not like that."
Yep.
Maybe her wrist is a little bit more, challenging. She may need like the MP Easy, Shield
The
Easy. I
shield
forgot what.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, doesn't take much. So it's like, go there, here are a couple options, because she's in Virginia, and go to the range and shoot these and see what feels best. At least gives us some options.
Yeah, definitely.
I never say one.
Yep. That's what I do, because a lot of people I work with, and just people that know that I'm into firearms, they always,
Mhm.
what gun would you rank? What gun should I? I'm like, I can't tell you a gun to get. Like, I can tell you like things that I like, but I always say shoot a couple different guns.
Right,
As many as you can shoot, really. Like, shoot those, and then you can figure out if you like a bigger gun, you want something compact, if you want
right.
9 millimeter, or you want a 40 or something bigger than that.
Hmm.
Like, there's so many options out there. Just don't limit yourself to what somebody else recommends.
Right.
Try them out.
Yeah, and even more so, like, what's the purpose? How are you going to be carrying it? Is it going to
Yeah.
be in your car? Is it going to be in your home? Is that the only one you're going to have? There's other questions to ask to kind of guide them, but yeah, it's their decision ultimately.
Yes.
Don't ask me.
Any YouTube channels that you watch frequently? They don't have to be gun channels. They could be any type of channels.
Um, I watch Carrie Trainer. Um, I'm on Instagram also, so I do watch Tactical Carl,
Okay.
Body by O. Yes, there's a
Tactical.
few.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Body Bell Tactical.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Trying to get him on here. We got some scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, I like him. I like him. I know he wants to come to Leesburg. Leesburg's a little bit more north of where I am right now. I
Okay.
was like, I reached out to him. I was like, I would love to train with you. And in Tactical Carl too, but he's in Houston.
Texas. Yeah.
Yes, so definitely those guys I follow, just because they just look like they know what they're doing. I like what they do.
Yeah.
Um, and American Gun Chick, I just started following her.
Okay.
I like looking at women shooters too,
Hmm.
because it motivates me. It's like,
Yeah.
and you see how they progress. It's like, okay, I will get there one day. Um, yes, those are the ones that stand out.
Okay. What advice would you give anyone buying their first firearm?
If you can, go to the range and rent out first, and get an instructor and get a permit. I always would lean towards having a permit, just an assurance that you're covered. It's just like having a driver's license. You need to drive license to drive. Getting maybe like extra insurance that you don't really need to have,
Yeah.
but that's a good peace of mind.
Yep, this is good. Like you said, just something to have, in case you need it. So.
You just never know. I want to eliminate all questions, or minimize the number of questions I'm asked about why do you have that gun.
Yeah.
You're in a situation, all of those things. I was like, I
All
don't want
right. Last question, then I'm gonna let you get out of here. Do you have a unicorn gun?
to. Because I haven't shot a lot of unicorn guns to answer that.
Hmm.
I do know what people. I'm listening. I do listen to what people like, and um, nothing stands out except for like the canic and the staccato, and that's why I touched it. That's why I went to the gun range. I was like, oh, maybe let me
Yeah.
try this. Um, I know there's like that crazy Desert Eagle, right? The that really,
58, full auto that
I
shooter
don't know,
shoots.
whatever Black Rambo was shooting. I was like,
Yeah.
um, just maybe to shoot that and then just do it, but not to own.
Yeah.
Um, there are guns that are fun to shoot
Hmm.
that I would never own.
Yeah.
Um, yes, and I buy my weapons for if I needed it.
Mhm.
That is more so why I have it and why I want to have a variety of them. And then there's the other ones that you just have for fun.
Yeah.
Um, so,
Definitely.
did
Definitely.
I answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah. You did. You
Okay. All
did.
right.
Yeah. Well, I
That'll work.
appreciate you for coming on. And
Thank you so
and
much for
sitting
having
with
me.
us.
Yeah.
Anytime we're gonna have to do it live. I'm gonna start getting into the live videos and start
Okay.
doing them that way. So, if you
Yeah, I
want to
would
be a
love to come
guest,
up. Yeah, I
yeah.
would be happy to. Hopefully, I did pretty well here or
Oh yeah,
answered
this is super
questions.
dope. It was fun. It was fun.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Anytime.
Thanks for
Anytime.
everyone listening too. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, anything you want to say before we check out?
Um, no, other than find me on Instagram, she fires, and check me out on YouTube. Maybe you'll stay a while, stay a spell, and like and subscribe. If not, I just appreciate the opportunity to come and talk with you tonight.
Yep. So, like we said, if you're not following She Fires on YouTube and subscribe to her channel and following on IG, make sure that y'all do that. Dope content, dope person, cool, great content. So make sure y'all check her out. We out to the next one,
Appreciate
Gun
you.
Family. Stay blessed, stay strapped.